Good morning, Facebook, and welcome to the Digital Coffee, all the digital marketing news you need to know this week. And here's the whiteboard for today, and I'm delighted to say it is no longer dominated by Facebook. We have loads of stuff going on this week for all the social networks. If you're joining me, I'd love it if you could do me a massive favour. If you know somebody that would be interested in watching this digital marketing news, whether it's a group or whether it's on your Facebook profile, click the share button underneath so that they can watch too. I can see someone has joined us. Hello, that would be Kate. Hello, Kate. How are you today? It's bright and sunny here. Storm Doris has gone. We have sunshine. It feels like spring. And I have had 2 full mugs of coffee already this morning. Yeah, I might be a little bit hyper. Hi Kate, what are you drinking? And I can see someone else has joined us as well. So while you tell me, is it tea, is it coffee, is it hot chocolate? I shall talk you through the board. Good morning, Sinead. We have survived Doris. Doris has gone to bug someone else. So you can see that tea for Kate. You can see we've got a bit of Facebook news as usual. Do you like, I think my boo, I'm still getting used to the new way round that this is working. I think my boo is kind of geeky looking, isn't he? Because he's wearing snap spectacles, and Sinead will know exactly what that's going to be about because she posted that up in our group. We've got some Instagram news, we've got some Twitter news, some really interesting Twitter news actually I'm kind of excited about. And you can see Pinterest, and this one is for you, Kate, because I know you're very interested in Pinterest. Sneaking in the side, breaking news last night, I decided I'd fit it into this week's session rather than leaving it until next week because it's such important news. I'm all excited and I'm ready to go. You have coffee, Naomi. Yes, 2 cups. I've had 2 cups of coffee, 2 very large, 4 shots of espresso. So if I talk a little bit fast, bear with me. Hi, Laura. Thanks for joining. You have tea. I did have tea too. So I have drunk quite a lot of caffeine this morning. Hi, Una Ming. Thanks for joining. Okay, well, I start with the news. Where will I start? I'm going to start with LinkedIn because this is an interesting one. Let me just grab my notes. I've got them here. So the first bit of LinkedIn news. I don't know if everyone has a new layout to LinkedIn yet. If you haven't been there for a while, go and have a look. I kind of like it. I do like the new layout. They have taken away a lot of the features that we've grown to love, but at the same time I do think it's a cleaner design. It matches their mobile experience, which makes sense so that you're not doing something different on mobile to you are online. So yeah, kind of liking it. But they've introduced this new feature that will automate the summary section of your LinkedIn profile. So this appears right at the top of your LinkedIn profile underneath your name. And the problem with the summary is that people don't fill it out, which is crazy because this is your sales pitch about yourself. When someone finds you on LinkedIn, they find you interesting enough to click and look at your LinkedIn profile. Your summary is what tells them what you're all about. So if you haven't filled it in yet, do go fill it in now. But obviously LinkedIn know that this is an important feature too. So they've introduced an auto summary. So you can tell it a few things. It will suggest a summary for you that you can personalize. So you can change it around once it's suggested it. I think this is good. I'm just reaching for my thumbs up. I think this is good. Well done, LinkedIn. Do you want to see an example of what they come up with? Because somebody has tweeted theirs. Now, if I can get the light to hit this right, this is an example. I went this morning, I couldn't find the function, but then I have a fully filled out summary. So if you don't have the summary section of your LinkedIn profile filled out in yet, when we finish today, maybe you could go and have a look and see if you have the option. This one obviously came from mobile. Yeah, now you can see the reflection of my Diva ring, which sounds kind of rude, doesn't it? Here you go. It's really, really hard to get used to being the right way round. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Okay, so there's the automated bio that they've sent to someone. I'll just read you that. Experienced, you know, the thing is, LinkedIn tell you not to use the word experience. They say it's used too much, but there you go. Experienced lead singer with a demonstrated history of working in the internet industry. Strong professional skills in user experience, personal management, basketball, social media, and product management. It's not the best summary in the world. Obviously, if you write your own in your own tone, it's going to be far better. But if it means that you've got a summary, just go for it. Just go for it. Well done, LinkedIn. Okay, you know what this is, yeah? I have to show you my wonderful Boo again. I'm kind of proud of him. I have turned Boo into a geek. Hello, Boo. So you may have noticed this week I've got excited about Snapchat spectacles before. They're very exciting. I really want some. These are just pennies. They are not Snapchat spectacles, but I really, really want some. I think it is the thing. Hi, Joanne. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Ema. Thanks for joining. Coffee in hand. Very good. I've already had all mine. So Snapchat spectacles that do not look like this, they are slightly, just ever so slightly cooler than this, are now available for mail order. I got excited. I got really excited. Only in the United States. Story. I really want these things. They're very affordable. I think they're like under $200. You saw some Irish bloggers were given spectacles at a makeup event during the week. Grrr. If any of you Irish bloggers out there have them and you don't want them, I'll take them off your hands. I'll take them off your hands. I really want them. Snapchat should be giving them to me because I'm just so great on Snapchat, but they really want me there. I don't know how much I'm going to use them if I get them, but I know I'll be giving them a good shot, and I really, really want a pair. So as soon as they roll them out in Ireland, the better. So we're going to give that a, oh, how exciting. And no, we can't get them in Ireland yet, so not quite so exciting. I'm wondering if I'll be able to pick some up in San Diego when I'm there. If I do, you'll see them. Joanne Larby showed them on her Snapchat. She is taking them on holiday. Well, now I'm jealous for her twice because not only does she have them on Snapchat, but she's going on holiday. Okay, moving on to topic number 3. Topic number 3 is YouTube. YouTube have changed, and this is really interesting because a bit of breaking news from Facebook last night, which you can see a bumping into them there, all relating to monetizing videos. So, you know when you go onto YouTube and you want to watch a video and there's like 6 seconds of pre-roll and you have to wait for that 6 seconds to go until you can skip it? That's annoying. Not as annoying as 30 seconds of pre-roll that you can't skip by. You have to watch the 30-second video in order to watch the video you went there to watch in the first place. Well, good news. 30-second pre-roll is gone. You'll still have your 6 seconds. I think we can wait 6 seconds to watch a video, but 30 seconds is gone. They got rid of it. Thankfully, they are thinking about their users. Yeah, I know, Ema. I actually don't think I've ever seen a 30-second pre-roll. They're smart. They know that I'd just get annoyed and leave YouTube if that happened. But apparently this was a thing. So it's gone now. This is good news. And, you know, YouTube have been very innovative later. I think, you know, they are still the king, the queen, the whatever of video online. And it's nice to see them really thinking about their users more. I'm racing through this news. I'm going to blame that coffee. All that coffee. I had something really important to say. I hope I remember it. Okay, so on to that little bit of breaking Facebook news. Just so that I know what I'm supposed to be talking about. Oh, just to mention, see, when I don't look at my notes, I miss loads. So with that YouTube news, I copied something because I thought it was really important from their announcement. They are going to focus instead on formats that work well for both users and advertisers. I don't think 30-second pre-roll works for anyone. In fact, 6-second pre-roll, do you just sit there and ignore it and wait for it to go away? Or do you actually watch it? There have been some really clever uses of that 6-second pre-roll, but I think that 6 seconds needs to be amazing if it's going to work. On to my Facebook news, which I'm skipping ahead to because I think it's so related to the video news, is that Facebook announced last night that they are going to put, we've talked about these before, but they're actually happening now. They're going to be putting ads within videos. And they're going to split the revenue with Facebook users. So if, for example, I'd need over 2,000 subscribers, I'm not quite sure what that means, and 300 concurrent videos. So we've got 9 at the moment. If I had 300 people watching at once, they'd let me monetize this. And then what would happen is this little thing would pop up in my chat box here where I can see all your comments. And it would say, you can take an ad break. And then I click that button and it runs a 15-second ad and then you're back to me. What do I think of this? Well, I like the idea that if I have a lot of people watching, I'll be able to monetize. Of course I do. I want to make money. From a user experience base, I kind of thinking, you know, we've gone full circle, haven't we? People have left TV to go to YouTube, to go to watch Facebook lives, to watch Facebook videos. They've launched a TV app, so it's all there now. We all watch our content online now. We're watching less and less live TV, so advertising has suffered as a result of that. You'll know for some of the players you watch, I can't remember if it's RTE or TV3, you actually have to watch an ad before you can even watch the TV show you're going to do, because, you know, all the people who have used that traditional advertising space are now losing out. You know, it's an industry I used to work in. We used to make a lot of TV ads. It was very lucrative for us on the crew, whereas now there's a lot less being made. So this is putting the ads back in. Unaming says, oh, that's a curious one. It would be interesting if you could pick the ads that make sense to the live video. It's done through the audience network. Now, I don't use the audience network yet. It's like a bit like AdSense, but for Facebook. And so I'm not sure how much control you have over the ads that are going there. We know there's been a bit of trouble recently about some, you know, political publications advertising on sites that don't really match the worldview of that political publication. So I don't know how much we're going to have control over that. It would be nice if you'd think that advertisers be smart as well, because I think you can choose as well the publications you want to go out with. So if you've got a cool social media tool, my show would be a good one to advertise on. It is going to be interesting to see how that works. Okay. Will I talk about Snapchat briefly? No, it's not Snapchat, it's WhatsApp. Now, I have to admit, I'm not much of a WhatsApp user. In fact, when I logged in this morning to see if I had this new feature from WhatsApp, I discovered there was a message there that I hadn't looked at, and that happens to me all the time. I don't know what it is. They do pop up in my notifications. I just, for some reason, they're lost amongst Twitter and Instagram. I just don't see them. But WhatsApp, as we know, is owned by Facebook. We know Facebook has taken on Snapchat full assault on Snapchat, and it's working. I've seen statistics this week that shows user base is not growing at the same rate that it was on Snapchat, and actually a lot of traditional users of Snapchat are now going to Instagram. I think somebody left a link to that in the Small Business Bloggers Facebook group if you want to look at it. So they've done Instagram stories, they've done Facebook stories, and this week they launched WhatsApp stories. Now, we did have an idea this was going to happen, but it's fully launched this week. When I say fully, I do not have it yet. Now, this, I think, is going to be the biggest challenge for Snapchat, because WhatsApp is used in lots of developing countries. It's used a lot in a lot of Asian countries where maybe Facebook doesn't have that saturation other places do, or Instagram doesn't. So, for example, it's huge in India. I've listened to some podcasts from India about the innovative ways that WhatsApp's been using there. So, and these are places that aren't really using Snapchat yet. So by getting in early, they're owning the market in stories. I think this is pretty devastating for Snapchat. I'm wondering, were they waiting for the rollout until Snapchat rolled out its IPO? Evil, evil Facebook. But it's interesting that they've gone there. Okay, what do I have left? Ooh, I have the big Pinterest news. I have something from Twitter that I think is kind of smart. I have Instagram news, which you're probably all aware of. And oh, something that's just kind of cool for Irish users. What will I go with? Put your votes in. P for Pinterest, T for Twitter, I for Instagram. I forgot what Instagram started with at the moment. So P for Pinterest. There's a P for Pinterest come in there. T for Twitter and I for Instagram. Which one will we go with next? All this news excites me. For the moment, I have one P. It's going to be Pinterest. Oh, we've got a T for Twitter. A shamrock. I mean, what does a shamrock mean? Ah, the Irish news. Yeah, that's a good one. Instagram. Somebody's gone for all three. Hi, Lottie. You'll have a tea, please, Bob. Okay, tea on its way. Now, that's a T, an I, a P, and an Irish news. I think we have a draw. I'm going to go, I think we got 2 P's and 2 T's. So I'm going to go with Pinterest first. Pinterest, this is the new use, and I'm kind of excited about this. Yeah, Kate, this one's for you because I know we were actually talking about this. Pinterest have launched ads in Ireland. So this is a bit of Irish news that wasn't the Irish news I was talking about. This is great. We finally got them because it's been frustrating. You could run ads in the UK. If you had a UK bank account, you couldn't run them here. Now we can. And what's interesting, as they've come up with these statistics, because they're pushing the ads product in Ireland, we now know, I didn't get any more than this, but we now know that user growth within Ireland has grown 25% in the last year. So lots of new users on Pinterest in Ireland. People within Ireland, you have the new WhatsApp feature just updated. I may go and check you out, Laura. We'll have to swap phone numbers. 200,000 pins per day pinned by people within Ireland. And what's really big about this news is that if you're using Facebook ads, you'll know Audience Insights is an amazing bit of news. And it's an amazing tool. Sorry, I got distracted there by looking at a comment. It's an amazing tool, Audience Insights. You can actually get Audience Insights for Pinterest. You can go and you can also put the pixel. There's a pixel. You can put it on your site. You can find out more about the people who are visiting your site. Find out, are they actually valuable customers? Find out who's in Ireland on Pinterest. Are they interested in what you do? This is terribly exciting. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the ad yet, but I'm definitely signing up for an account so I can find out should I actually be investing time and money in using Pinterest. Huge, of course, for any retailers, online brands, your e-commerce brands. That stuff does really well on Pinterest in other regions, so it's going to be huge for those. I think Twitter was next. Oh, I'm going to give double whammy to Pinterest. Well done, thank you. You are brilliant. Thanks for giving us ads at last. You know what? Last November, myself and Lorna Sixsmith did a talk for Fulshire Island on Pinterest and Instagram, and Lorna said ads will be coming to Ireland soon, and we've been sitting there waiting, hoping it actually did happen, and now it does. And the promoted pin options look so exciting. This is the most exciting thing ever. Okay, on to my Twitter news. Twitter. Well done, Twitter. Because they've copped onto the fact that one of the main uses of Twitter for businesses is customer service. They've also copped onto one of the themes, it's not just of the year, I'd say it's of the last 2 or 3 years, which is personalization and trust. Now, when you message, and I'm just going to get the image up because it's kind of cool. When you message a brand on Twitter, they'll have the option of being able to reply not just as the brand with that faceless logo, but as a person. The customer representatives will be able to add their own profiles, and this just happens within direct messaging, not live, their own profiles, so people will know who they're talking to. They'll know they're talking to a human being, they'll see the picture, they'll see the name, and that's going to be great for personalization and trust. I think this is really smart from Twitter. Well done, Twitter. Why am I surprised? I don't know, but here's what it looks like. I find this really hard now that I'm the right way round. Okay, so you can see there somebody's put in their customer service query by direct message. This is how it happens. You can see there the profile picture and the name of the person that's getting back to them. Massive. I think this is fantastic news. I think it's going to make customer services representatives' lives a lot easier as well, because we're a lot more polite when we know we're talking to a human being than when we're talking to a brand. Yes, Una Ming, it is great. Twitter have finally caught on. We love you, Twitter. Okay, I'll do the Irish news now. It won't keep you waiting too long. This is kind of exciting. It's not specifically about a social network, but something we're going to be able to do via a social network now. And I lost my notes for a moment there. And this is TransferWise, which is a payments tool, a peer-to-peer payments tool. So I could send you an invoice, you can pay it via TransferWise, and it converts currency at a good price and it's not too expensive. Now let's us, as in Ireland, I'm sure other countries too, but this is exciting news for us, transfer money via Facebook, via a chat bot. So you'll be able to go into Messenger, you'll be able to invoice someone and get that payment via Facebook. It's only going to work when there's currency transfer involved. It's not going to work, you know, person to person within Ireland. This will be really handy for those of us that have international clients, because the fee for TransferWise isn't as big. You get a better exchange rate. I think it's going to work really well. What's interesting about this, and why I got really excited when I first saw it, is because Facebook are allowing peer-to-peer. If have time for a question. Have Facebook stopped all sound in live shows in the feed? I can only get sound with you full screen on iPad, which means I can't message. I don't know the answer to that. I'm trying to think when I watched my last live video. I know it plays for me all the time, really annoyingly, and I have to listen for my own voice. That's interesting to know. If anyone else is watching on a desktop, can you click the play sound button? And will the sound play? How are you watching it, if you can let Lottie know? Okay, so this is great. Facebook are introducing their own tool that's going to do this. And have you expanded me to full screen, or have you clicked the play button? Or maybe it's just because you're watching on an iPad. I don't know. This is great. This is going to be happening on Facebook. Facebook are going to be introducing something very similar to this. Okay, I hope, Lottie, you're looking at all those responses. Thanks a million. When Facebook launched their tool, it's not going to be so hot for TransferWise, unless TransferWise, you know, go at a better rate than Facebook. We'll have to see how that evolves. But I think it's an exciting way to take payments. I think it's, you know, it's going to be dangerous for the likes of PayPal. TransferWise is already stepping on their toes. Let's see what happens there. Okay, I have one more bit of news, I think. Instagram. You know what the Instagram news is. Can you guess what the Instagram news is? I didn't even draw the logo to my full extent this week. I got a bit bored of colouring. You know what the Instagram news is. If you haven't looked at Instagram in the last day, do. You know, right at the top of your feed on Instagram, you can see the stories. My little purple mark, that was from drawing Instagram earlier. You'll see the stories. You'll see one from Instagram telling you about what apparently they're calling swipe. We mentioned this briefly a few weeks ago, that Instagram were looking at enabling albums where you'd be able to post more than one photo at a time, and I remember giving that a big thumbs down. I was like, no, this is not what we want to do on Instagram. And as far as I remember, you weren't too enthusiastic either. But now it's here, and actually it's all right. I don't mind it. It doesn't interfere with my Instagram experience. I'm not sure. If you go there, you can just swipe. You'll see 3 little dots to tell you there's more pictures, and you can scroll through them. It's a nice storytelling feature. it's different. Your Instagram stories are going to be a little bit more frivolous, and the ones that you put in an album, I suppose, are going to be a little bit more beautiful, a little bit more fitting to the feed. But I like it. I actually like it. I'm just wondering, will anyone watch after, you know, a few weeks? Will the fun go out of it? At the moment, I'm swiping everything I see. I like this. I was wrong. I think this is a good feature from Instagram. I'm almost done now. I'm looking at my board in case I forgot something. I didn't forget anything. This is all the news for this week. I hope if you have enjoyed this show, I did a mini presentation with 4 slides about my favourite apps and got a good response. Sinead, will you post a link to that in the group for me? Because I have a specific reason for asking. Or a link. Yeah, you can link to an Instagram show. That's all for this week. If you know somebody that would enjoy watching this show, that would find this information useful, please click the share button. Share it on your profile if your friends would be interested, in a group if you know people there would be interested, on your Facebook page if you are in the social media game and you think people would enjoy watching this news and my slightly over-caffeinated madness. I like the new G feature. In theory, I think it could be used to show a few photos in sequence of an experiment. Yes, absolutely, Naomi. I think that would be brilliant. Just before you go, this is where you can subscribe by email to get an email. The only thing I'm subscribing you to is the email, to get an email every week to remind you to listen to the show. It goes out an hour before I broadcast. spiderworking.com/Facebook Live. Go sign up over there. I still haven't fixed that thing. When you do input your email, you are signed up. It just doesn't refresh to the next page. I need to sort that. But sign up over there for the reminder. See you next week. Thanks for joining me. Goodbye.